1 meal a day. OMAD fasting. What happens to your body hour by hour? Have you ever wondered what your body does when food stops coming? No snacks, no sugar, no constant supply of energy, just silence. Because in those empty hours, something unexpected begins to happen. Your body doesn't panic, it doesn't shut down. It adapts, it shifts power sources, it changes hormones, it starts digging into what it already has. And if enough time passes, it may even begin repairing itself in the background. Not because you told it to, but because that's what it was designed to do. This is why something as simple as eating once a day has captured so much attention. To some people, it sounds extreme. To others, it feels like a lost biological advantage. But this is not just about weight loss. This is about understanding what really happens inside your body when you stop feeding it constantly and give it time to respond. Hour by hour, system by system, from your blood sugar to your brain, everything begins to change. So what really happens when you eat 1 meal a day? Let's break it down. Why OMAD? 1 meal. We live in a world where eating has become constant. Breakfast, snacks, lunch, more snacks, dinner, late-night cravings. Food is always available, always within reach, and because of that, most people never experience what it feels like to actually be without it. But something interesting started happening. People began skipping meals. At first, it wasn't intentional. Busy schedules, long work hours, no time to eat. And then they noticed something strange. They didn't fall apart. In fact, some felt better, more focused, more in control, less sluggish. And that's where OMAD started gaining attention. 1 meal a day. Not 6 meals, not 3 meals, just 1. To some, it feels like discipline. To others, it feels like deprivation. And that's where the confusion begins. Because the real question is not, is eating once a day extreme? The real question is, what is your body actually doing when you're not eating? Hours 0 to 4. Fed state. The clock starts the moment you finish your meal. At this point, your body is fully fed. Your stomach is breaking down food. Carbohydrates are being converted into glucose, proteins being broken into amino acids, fats are being processed and prepared for storage or use. As nutrients enter your bloodstream, insulin rises. Insulin is one of the key players here. Its job is simple: move nutrients out of the blood and into your cells. Right now, your body is not concerned with burning fat. It doesn't need to, because fresh fuel just arrived. Some of that energy gets used immediately. Some of it is stored in your liver and muscles as glycogen. Think of glycogen as your body's short-term backup fuel. In this phase, everything feels normal. You're full, you're comfortable, you're stable. Nothing dramatic is happening. Your body is simply running on fresh supply. Hours 4 to 10. Hunger in transition. 4 to the steady flow of energy from your meal begins to slow down. Blood sugar starts to settle, insulin begins to drop. And this is where most people feel it. Hunger. Your stomach may growl, your focus may drop, you may feel restless or slightly irritable. And this is where most people misunderstand what's happening. They think something is wrong, but usually nothing is wrong. This is just your body asking a question: are we eating again soon? Hunger is not an emergency, it's a signal, and signals don't always require immediate action. What surprises many people is this: hunger doesn't keep rising forever. It comes in waves. It rises, peaks, and fades. And if you don't respond immediately, your body begins to adjust. Hours 10 to 16. Glycogen to fat shift. Now your body gets more serious. Since no new food is coming in, your liver begins releasing glycogen to keep blood sugar stable. This is your backup system kicking in. But glycogen is limited, and as it starts to run low, your body begins looking for another source. stored fat. This is the shift most people are actually chasing, not because it sounds good, but because it changes how your energy feels. Instead of constant spikes and crashes, things begin to stabilize. Cravings may start to fade. Energy becomes more consistent, and something unexpected happens. You don't feel weaker, you feel steady. This is the moment your body begins relying less on incoming food and more on what it already has. Hours 16 through 20, ketones and mental shift. At this stage, things get interesting. As fat breakdown increases, your liver begins producing ketones. Ketones are an alternative fuel source, especially for your brain. And this is where many people report something surprising: mental clarity, focus, calmness. Not everyone experiences it the same way, but for many, this is the turning point. Fasting stops feeling like suffering and starts feeling like control. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes sense. When food was scarce, humans didn't shut down. They became sharper, more alert, because survival depended on it. So what you're feeling here is not weakness, it's adaptation. Hours 20 through 23, autophagy and protection. Now we enter one of the most talked about aspects of fasting, autophagy. This is your body's internal cleanup system. Instead of constantly relying on new material, your cells begin breaking down old, damaged components and recycling what still works. Think of it like this. If deliveries stop coming into a house, you finally start organizing what's already inside, throwing out what's broken, fixing what can be repaired. Now, this process isn't something you can measure down to the exact minute. Human bodies vary. But longer fasting windows give your body more opportunity to shift into this mode. At the same time, your body is not randomly destroying muscle. That's one of the biggest myths. Your body is designed to preserve tissue as long as possible. Hormonal changes help support this. That doesn't mean muscle is untouchable forever, but short-term fasting is far more controlled than people think. Your body is not reckless, it's strategic. Hour 23. Tissue. The meal. Now your body is ready. You've gone through digestion, transition, adaptation, and now it's time to eat. This is where everything can go right, or completely wrong, because the way you break your fast matters. If you break it with junk food, sugar overload, ultra-processed calories, you may feel heavy, bloated, unsatisfied. But if you break it properly, your body responds very differently. A strong OMAD meal is built around what your body needs: protein for repair and muscle support, healthy fats for stable energy, fiber-rich foods for digestion and nutrients. This one meal determines everything, not just your results, but how you feel the next day. The dark side, OMAD. Now, here's the truth most people avoid. OMAD is not easy at the beginning. If you're used to constant eating, the first few days can feel rough. Headaches, low energy, cravings, mood swings. But this is not starvation. This is adaptation. Your body is learning to switch between fuel sources, and that takes time. But OMAD is not for everyone. It may not be suitable for people who are still growing, people with certain medical conditions, people with a history of disordered eating, people under high stress or poor sleep. This is not a universal solution. It's a tool, and tools only work when used correctly. How to start OMAD? If you try to jump straight into OMAD, you may fail, not because you're weak, but because you rushed the process. A better approach is gradual. Start by delaying breakfast, then extend your fasting window. Move to 16/8, then 24, and eventually OMAD. Let your body learn the rhythm instead of forcing it overnight. So what really happens when you eat one meal a day? Your body digests, stores, transitions. Then it's when you eat, glycogen gets used, fat burning increases, ketones rise, and over time, your body becomes more flexible, more efficient, less dependent on constant intake. In a world built around non-stop eating, that shift feels powerful because you begin to realize something simple. Hunger is not an emergency.
Your body is not fragile, and those empty hours may be doing more for you than you ever realized. This video is for educational purposes only. OMAD is not suitable for everyone, especially individuals who are pregnant, still growing, or have certain medical conditions. Always consult a qualified professional before making major dietary changes. If you want more deep, evidence-based breakdowns on fitness, fasting, and performance, subscribe to Reboot My Body. In a world